Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Kwan. Before we get started here, just wanted to let you guys know you can always watch this and listen to this on your own time. You can do that by live streaming it later. Or I guess it wouldn't be a live stream. You can watch the video on YouTube, on our InForum YouTube channel. You can always find it on your favorite podcast platform. Maybe that's Apple Podcasts. Maybe you're a Spotify kind of person. I'm a Spotify person. And then you can always find it just by going on inforum.com/podcasts and clicking on InForum Minute as well. All right, so we did have some breaking news for you this morning. We have 3 different breaking news stories that we're tracking from across our region. So first, we're going to start in Fargo. We know that every single person living in a 20-unit apartment building did have to find a different place to stay for the night because a fire broke out on the 3rd floor. It happened right around midnight last night at the apartments just right off of 43rd Street South, kind of by Kroll's Diner there, also just southeast of the Village Dog Park. So we know that, again, this all started on a 3rd floor unit, and the fire marshal, Ryan Erickson, says that this eventually ended up spreading to the attic of that apartment, and then it took more than a half hour to actually get that put out. So right now we know investigators are there trying to figure out, of course, what caused it, what damage estimate could be looking like, which we are learning this could take a few weeks for us to get that information. So people living there right now, obviously with them being displaced, they are being helped by the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, of course. And the good news out of this is that no one was hurt, thankfully. Of course, that is what we care about the most. Also, we had breaking news out of Grand Forks. We know a man is in jail right now as police say that he fired a shotgun after confronting 2 women right outside of his apartment. So it all happened right across from the public library there. Many of you guys in Grand Forks are probably familiar with that, but it happened at around 10:30 last night when police tell us that 2 women, were looking for a dog in the front lawn of that building, and then the man went onto his balcony. Well, he said some things to the women, and then he decided to fire off a shotgun round into the air. So police did arrest him about an hour and a half later. And so this is Scott Middledorf. He's right now in the Grand Forks County Jail. He's facing charges of terrorizing, discharging a firearm within city limits, and reckless endangerment as well. So we're going to try to figure out when he's going to be in court, and we'll let you know once we find out. Last breaking news story of the day for you. This happened just north of Grand Forks. We know that a woman is dead after crashing while she was driving the wrong way in a construction zone. So that was on I-29, about 8 miles north of Manville at around 6:30 last night. Troopers are telling us that she was driving north in the southbound lane when she crashed head-on with a pickup, and then her car started on fire. They're not releasing the name of this woman at this time, but we do know that the driver and a passenger in the pickup, both from Montana, were hurt. So those are our 3 breaking news stories from across the region for you. Something that we'll, of course, stay on top of, our whole team at WDAY, and we'll bring you updates as soon as we can on all of those stories. Okay, also today in Fargo, we know that we are expecting to see some surveillance video of the killing of Jupiter Paulson in Arthur Kollie's murder trial. So yesterday in court, for the first time, we know that jurors heard the 911 call, and that was coming from a man named Patrick Peterson, who saw the attack happen outside of the Party City firsthand. And he said he saw what was happening from a distance, and then he got a little bit closer, and that is when he called 911. So prosecutors are arguing that Kollie actually tried to cover up some evidence that after killing Paulson, and the defense is arguing that the jury should not get caught up in their emotions in this case. We know dozens of witnesses are expected to come forward and appear in court in the coming days, including a police detective who is going to be the one bringing that surveillance video in court today. So, of course, we're going to keep you updated on that. Just a really sad situation. Also today, the Fargo Police Advisory Board, actually not really today, but it did just get its first major review of department policies. So the board can't enforce policies, as we all know, but its job is to, of course, build trust within the community. So both the board and officers kind of dissected that Shane Netterville shooting back in July, with some people questioning whether Netterville should be considered a murder victim. But police are saying that all department policies were followed during that time. And during the meeting, Police Chief David Zabolski even said that, he was just defending Officer Adam O'Brien. He is that 11-year veteran with Fargo Police who shot and killed Shane Netterville. But he was defending O'Brien with another officer potentially in that crossfire as well. So we'll just keep you updated on that. Also, we know that there's going to be a pretty expensive cleanup effort on a Grand Forks road. A viewer had sent in some pictures, which you can see just by going to our website or Grand Forks Herald, and it shows a John Deere combine that apparently fell off of a flatbed trailer. And you guys know how big those things are, right? So that happened on Gateway Drive, right in front of Simonson's. Grand Forks people, you guys already know where that is. You can't really miss it. But we're trying to figure out what happened. We did get word, though, as of about 9 o'clock last night, that combine was still on the road. So if there's anyone in Grand Forks that's tuning in right now, if you can give me an update, that would be really, really cool. But yeah, that's kind of the last update that we heard of on First News today. All right, we also know that there's another step forward when it comes to combating the teacher shortage in North Dakota. So the State Higher Education Committee just pushed this new bill forward, totaling $3 million, and it's going to help with teacher shortage grants. So that new bill is going to be helping paraprofessionals get teaching degrees online. We know there are 418 open teaching positions in all K through 12 schools in North Dakota right now. Some positions most in need right now: special ed teachers, library media specialists, counselors, high school science teachers. I've always wanted to be a high school science teacher. I remember that because I had a really cool science teacher. Anyway, super off topic. But yeah, so that bill is now going to be advancing to the state legislature in 2023, so we will let you know what happens. In West Fargo, though, similar. Administrators are taking steps to show appreciation for their current teachers by giving them a bonus of several $100s. So teachers who work at least 30 hours a week are eligible for that bonus. Anyone working less than that would be eligible for $400. And then substitute teachers, this is kind of interesting, I thought. You had to have worked last year and you have to continue working this year in order to qualify for a $250 bonus. So this proposal still does need approval from the full school board, which could happen as soon as next Monday, which is when the board is supposed to meet next. So we'll let you know if that gets the final okay. All right, North Dakota voters, you can get some extra help today when it comes to understanding your rights. So the League of Women Voters of the Red River Valley is hosting an informational meeting. It's going to be at the Sons of Norway Lodge on 2nd Ave in Fargo from noon to 1 this afternoon. So this is all just to get a glimpse of what you can expect at the polls this November. Something very similar is happening in Detroit Lakes as well, but that one focuses a little bit more on getting to know your candidate. So if you want to check that out, you can always go to our website, InForum.com. All right, we also know today the new king and queen are expected to return to the city as King Charles is set to begin his new royal duty. So he's going to be meeting with the new prime minister, Liz Truss, as well as people who are in charge of funeral. What was that? Oh. Lydia, I think, is talking to our producers in the back, but I was so confused.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, so, yeah, so he's going to be meeting with Liz Truss, new PM there, as well as a lot of people in charge of funeral arrangements for the Queen. Charles is also expected to announce the length of national mourning today, and then potentially the date for Queen Elizabeth's funeral as well. This evening, we know that he is going to be addressing the nation in a pre-recorded message as well. If you're tuning in to ABC right now, you can see GMA has Robin Roberts in London right now. We got Amy Robach even. I'm watching this as we speak. So, a lot is going on right now in London. I think they're all in Buckingham Palace. At least Amy Robach looks like she's in Scotland right now. So lots going on right now. ABC has special coverage of this event, so make sure you tune in for that if you would like to see more of it. Okay, North Korea, we know, passed a bill overnight declaring itself a nuclear state. Kim Jong-un addressed that last night, saying that they're not giving up their nuclear weapons. He also vowed to never denuclearize that country. But the bill does say, North Korea would only use nuclear force as a last resort. And that it would only be used in anything that would, seriously threaten the nation or its people. So, wanted to bring that update to you guys. And we also know that a Wisconsin man accused of killing a teenager and stabbing 4 other people on Apple River back in July is pleading not guilty. He's charged with first-degree intentional homicide, 4 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. And if you recall, he attacked a group of tubers on Apple River back in July, which killed 17-year-old Isaac Schumann and hurt 4 others. And he was going on this knife attack. So he is claiming that he was attacked first and he was acting in self-defense. So we know that another hearing has been set for November 1st. Okay, NASA is saying that it has 2 new dates in mind for its next attempt at launching its massive new moon rocket on an uncrewed test mission. So that's going to be either on September 23rd or possibly September 27th. This comes after 2 scrubbed launches last week. As we all know, we try to get that for you on First News and or right after First News, and that one was a failed attempt as well. And then they tried last Saturday too, which also failed. And this all happened because of technical issues. So we know that right now they're trying to fix those problems. And yeah, so hopefully everything goes to plan. We'll let you know if the 23rd or the 27th works out for NASA with Artemis 1. All right, Hot Mic with Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Of course, we're kicking off another weekend packed with sports on WDAY, starting with tonight's Games of the Week. Wow, I need to get used to saying that, right? So on WDAY Extra and, of course, InForum.com. On the X, we are heading to Minnesota. Moorhead Spuds have their home opener against Brainerd exclusively on InForum.com through WDAY Sports Plus. It's a battle of 2 unbeaten teams. Fargo South taking on Shanley. Both of those games are kicking off at 7 tonight. I'm sure Dom is going to talk a lot about the Bison game tomorrow as they take on North Carolina A&T. Pre-game coverage is going to be starting at 10 in the morning with the Bison Game Day show. You'll see me on there as well. I'm going to be live at the tailgate lots. And then we know that game coverage is going to be starting at 2:20. Game itself starting at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. So I'm sure Dom will have much more on Hot Mic this morning, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. All right, everyone, don't forget, before we let you go, you can always, for just 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, get an all-access pass on InForum.com. Here's how you get that deal. InForum.com/subscribe. That's literally it. It's as simple as that. All right, everybody, that is all I have for you today. Don't forget, we have news at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. We got you covered tomorrow as well with our First News Saturday show from 7 to 8:30 with Jenna Scott. First News Sunday going from 7 to 8 as well, so make sure you go join. And we'll be back here on Monday morning from 5 to 7. All right, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys back here on Monday. Bye.